BTS in the building. BTS in the building. B for Braamfontein. T for taking over. S South Africa. Like Shell taking over South Africa. Check on that. Yeah. Um. Anyway, we're gonna look at the continuation from 2017, Department of Education. So you have um you're already done with question 5 in the previous one, so we'll go straight to question 6. Question 6. So in question 6, you are given a parabola and a straight line. Oh, bro, they just want to give you marks right now. Like, you should be glad. You're getting marks. You should stand up and hug the examiner and say, Baba wam or Mama wam, nyabonga. Anyway, this is an interpretation type of question. Look at this. The very first question, x-intercept. Bro, who still asks these questions for 4 marks? I think they were bored here. So it happens, it's normal. So for the very first question, x-intercept, the value of y equals 0. So 0 is equal to negative x squared minus x plus 6. Then it's easier for me to work with the negative. So I'm going to have x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. So you are most likely to make errors when you get these sort of questions. I always advise my learners, don't be in a rush. Okay, consider time, but don't panic, don't quiver, don't shiver. Buzz. Okay, so I have x minus 3, no, x minus 2, then x plus 3. How did I get that? The sign of the middle term gets the bigger side. What? Okay, there's a language barrier there. Yeah, you know what I mean. X is equal to a positive 2 or x is equal to negative 3, right? So the intercept is 2 and 0, and then you have negative 3 and 0, 2. Those are the intercepts. Going to the second question. Axis of symmetry of F. The axis of symmetry is this line here, the line that divides the function or the graph into 2 equal parts, right? So I want to show you something here, right? Okay, but before, let me continue here before. So for the axis of symmetry, the turning point is the one that's going to tell me, that's going to give the equation. The x coordinate at the turning point is the one that's going to give me the axis of symmetry, that equation. So for me, if I'm given this type of a parabola in this, what's this, in this structure, in this equation, right? Ax squared plus bx plus c. This is how I find the x coordinate of the turning point. And it's the axis of symmetry too. This equation, it's very special. This equation, I need to actually explain this thing. Oh man, my lord. Turning point. Parabola. Remember spelling error, the language barrier? That's not my fault. Right. The turning point. Turning point is very special. X coordinate at the turning point, right? The x coordinate. If you're given this equation, y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. If this is the given equation, to get the turning point, you use this thing. X is equal to minus b over 2a. That's going to give you the x coordinate at the turning point. And it's going to give you also what? Axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. Yes, you're correct. You know, axis of symmetry. And then You need to know also that the turning point. The turning point, that's when they ask you about the maximum or the minimum. If the question asks you about the minimum or the maximum, they want you to calculate the turning point, the y value, right? Y value. Here is the what? X value. Because with the turning point, remember, you have X and Y. So the X is the axis of symmetry. The Y is the maximum or the minimum. Also, this is very important. The range. The turning point also tells you about the range. The range. With the range, if A is positive, you have a concave, isn't it? This becomes what? The minimum, right? So Y, it's going to be greater or equal to Q, right? Or the minimum, or the minimum, right? Whichever it is, the Y value at the turning point, that's the range. Then if A is a negative, you're gonna have a convex. This means that you have a maximum. This is the how far the graph can reach, right? Y is lesser. Why am I saying Q? Y, it's lesser or equal to Q. What are you saying, Mr. Barry? What are you saying, Moren? Orin tate moalakan. Ke re ho wena. If unale Y is equal to 4x squared plus 3x plus 8. Turning point ya gago, axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. Ke tlo reng x is equal to minus b over 2a. A re ke b minus b3 over 2 into a 4, which is negative 3 over 8. This is the axis of symmetry. That is the axis of symmetry. The x coordinate at the turning point is the axis of symmetry. Now, let's get back to the question because we deviated. We deviated. Now, axis of symmetry, I have negative 1 all over 2 into negative 1, which just gives me a negative 1 over 2. That is my axis of symmetry. Therefore, x is equal to negative 1 over 2. This is an equation. There's an equal sign there. I know you used to equations being y is equal to, no, as long as there's an equal sign. That's an equation of the axis of symmetry. Getting to the third question. Range. I already told you. We take the range from the turning point. So we know our turning point is somewhere here. I already have negative half as my x value. The range, I need the y coordinate. How do I get the y coordinate? I substitute. So I have f at negative 1 over 2 being equal to negative 1 over 2 minus negative 1 over 2. Okay, this is all squared plus 6. This is already in the calculator. The answer is 21 over 4, which is 5,25. Is equals to 5,25. So here I have 5,25. That's what I have there. Then, let me clarify this and actually make sure it's the correct. Okay, like I said, the correct answer, it's not 5,5. Yeah, it's not 5,5. See, that's your excitement there. Yeah, see, you're excited. Yeah, I know this answer. True, you need to relax. Okay, so my answer is 6,25. Just 6,25. And it's not 6,25. After a comma, you move in units. There's no hundreds, there's no tens, you move in units. So the range, therefore, range y has to be less than or equal to this value. Let's get to this. The fourth question. Determine the equation of free 3 marks. There you go, free 3 marks. 3 marks from 1% there for free. You can get 29. You never know. So this 1% is very important. Very, very important. Okay. Let's look at my straight line here. I need at least 2 points. So to get the equation of a straight line, yeah. Okay, this is part of revision. You know from your revision when you introduce the functions to determine equation of a linear function, right, or a straight line. Just want it to be dangerous there. You need 2 points or 1 point and gradient. That's what you need. So let's look at what we're given here. You are given 2 points. Yeah, 2 points. Here, I know that this is C. Y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. The constant is the y-intercept. So what's the y-intercept? It's 6. Right? The value of x is going to be 0, of course. So I know that y is equal to mx plus c, right? So I can use this equation, y minus y1 equal to m, then x minus x1. This here is then it's a point. Then this, of course, is the gradient. I can find the gradient because I already have 2 points. So the gradient m, okay, let me raise these things here. That's the equation they want. So, okay, MAB is equals to YA minus YD all over XA minus XD. This is going to give me, what is YA? It's 4 minus YD, which is 6 all over -2 minus 0. And this is equal to, my answer is going to be equal to, this is -2, my answer is a positive 1. So y minus y1 equal to mx minus x1. I'm going to use this equation because it's simpler. So I substitute a point. I can choose any point, A or D. I can use point A. So it's y minus 4 equal to 1, which is the gradient, then x minus -2. So therefore, y is going to be equal to x. Then I have a +2 plus 6. Here's my function. Then 6.5. Determine the average gradient. The average gradient between AD. Write it down, of course. Of course, I already calculated that thing. Free 1 mark. They're playing with you here. Determine equation H if H is a reflection of F about the x-axis, then translated 3 units to the right. Leave your answer in this form. Reflection. Speak about reflection quickly. Small waters. Reflection. Must be excited when you get these sort of questions. Reflection. Reflection. We have for grade 11, 3, right? 3. In fact, 2. Then when you get to metric is 3. First one, along x what changes? So if I have f of x is equal to, okay, before giving you the example, you should know that y becomes a negative y. That's what changes, y changes. Then if it's along x, y axis, then x becomes negative x. It changes sign, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it becomes a negative. It changes the sign, right? Along the y-axis can be along the vertical, and then along the x-axis, horizontal, right? Or about, or they like using these terms, but it's the same thing. 3 marks, yeah. And then translation, translation, translation. Also with reflection, you did this about y is equal to x. Here, both of them change. Here, both change. X becomes negative x, y becomes negative y. Both of them change signs if you are reflecting along this thing here. On translation of the parabola, y is equal to, what's this? If I'm moving to, okay, let me do this. If I'm going to the left, I'm going to subtract, right? Subtract q. This is, no, subtract p. This is from y is equal to a, then x plus p all squared plus q. I subtract p. This is no, I add to the right. Sorry for that. I add to go to the right. All right. I'm lying. Yeah, lying. Lying. Left is add, yes. Then right minus p. It's a totally different thing though for q, because with q, when you add, you're going up. When you subtracting, going down. You would expect that it's right to add. Like, right cannot be associated with a negative. That was a bar. But like anyway, I'm not there. Um let's continue here. So I'm going to have f of x. This is my f of x. It's equal to negative x squared minus x plus 6. So I'm going to make the changes. I have to say reflection along what? X-axis. This is going to become negative, right? And then if I'm moving 3 units to the right, I'm going to subtract from here. So I subtract negative 3 here. I also subtract negative 3 here in the place of x. So h of x, right, it's going to be equal to negative f of x, right, minus 3. That's what's happening there. So it's reflected along the x-axis here, then it's moved 3 units to the right. So let us continue. We're gonna have negative f of x is equal to negative x minus 3 all squared minus x minus 3 again plus 6. Then I divide by the negative here. So I have f of x. I have h of x is equal to x minus 3 all squared plus x minus 3 minus 6. This is what I have. So I'll continue here to simplify it because they said they want it in this form. So h of x equal to, if I break down this, I'm gonna have x squared minus 6x plus 9, then plus x, then the 6 and the 3 make a negative 9. So this is equals to x squared minus 5x. That's h of x. So I'll just have to complete the square here. So h of x equals x squared minus 5x minus 5 all over 2. This is me completing the square. Then I add it again. 5 over 2 all squared. Right, so this is x minus 5 over 2 all squared plus 25 over 4. Now let's get to the next question. This one is pretty simple, 2 marks. For which values of x is the graph positive? When they say f of x above 0, here is 0 here. Here is 0. This side is negative and this side is positive. So they want where the graph is positive. The values that I'm going to tell you are these ones and these ones, which are the intercept, right? The x-intercept. Then you've calculated for the x-intercept. It's 2 and negative 3. So x must be between, this is where it's negative, this is negative 3, this is 2. It has to be between these ones, because that's where it's above. So here it's a negative 4. Here it's a negative 5. So clearly the graph is below there. But when we get up here, let's say negative 2, you see the graph is above, it's positive. So my answer here, negative 3. Okay, there's no inclusion. So x, 10, and 2. Here's the last question. Malamax again. Now, they're saying f at p and f at r are the same point, right? They share a x value, right? They share the x value. I mean, they share the y value. Sorry, they share the y value. So I know where y is 4. Here's the point where y is 4. Y is 4 here, right? So if another value is going to be equal to 4, it has to be somewhere here, right? So I can say for my function, here's my function. In the place of f of x, I place 4. So, because that's 4, I already know 1 point. There are 2 points. So I'm going to say 4 is equal to negative x squared minus x plus 6. So you're going to have, I'm going to take the 4 that side. So it's going to be a negative x squared minus x minus, plus 2 equals 0. X squared plus x minus 2 equals 0. I did just divide it by 1. This can be factorizable. X minus 1, x plus 2 equals 0. So it means that x is going to be equal to negative, negative 2, which is this point here, or x is equal to what? Negative 1. A positive 1, sorry. So this point here, it's 1 and 4. So they want p minus r. Here is r, because r is less than 0. Here is p. So 1 minus negative 2 is equal to what? 3.